Hey y'all, I got another immaculate guest on here. You feel me? You know what I mean? Owner of Passive Income University. He gonna help y'all get y'all passive income up. You feel me? You know what I mean? Met this brother at the FBA Expo in Dallas. You feel me? Hold on, Curtis. You know I gotta give you some goddamn hand claps and air horns, bro. You know what I mean? Let's get air horns
That's
first,
right.
then the
That's
hand
right.
claps. You feel me?
That's
Yeah,
right.
I got my bruh Curtis G in the building. You feel me? Let the people know. You know what I mean? Give him a high and shit. You feel me?
Yo, yo, yo. What's up, family? So, first off, before we even jump into it, I got to give a huge shout out to my brother, my boy Kamal. Like he said, we linked up, we met at the FBA Expo in Dallas back in May.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, brothers and sisters out there on the same wavelength and the same frequency in terms of empowering and building up the community.
Yep.
So first off, shout out to you, brother. Thank you so much for having me as a guest on your show and your platform.
Hell
And
yeah.
I'm really stoked out to talk about building this passive income with the community.
Yes, sir. You feel me? I think the wildest thing that happened when we was there is you from San Diego. We came
Yeah,
out there from San
yes,
Diego and shit. So it was
yes.
like, God damn,
And that's the
small
crazy
world.
part because we're both in Dago, we both in the city, but
Yeah.
to meet and link up for the first time out there in another state, just
Mhm.
kind of being on the same page is super dope.
Yeah, man, mind-boggling. You feel me? It is insane. But look, tell the people where they can find you, your socials and stuff like that, and then we gonna hop right into the combo. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah. So simple to put, so there's two on Instagram and on TikTok. It's
Mhm.
Curtis G24 at Curtis G24. And then specifically for Passive Income University on Instagram, it's at PI University. And so the website is www.piuniversity.net. That's where you can find me, you can find us, and that's going to be your starting point, your building block for getting your passive income started.
Okay. And also, I'm gonna have the links in the description for y'all below, so it's super easy for y'all just to click on it. Bam, you feel me? So, Passive Income University, man, expound on that. Give my audience, the rundown of what that is. You feel me?
So we're going to rundown, or do we want the history too? Do we want like what kicked it up and
I want it all.
all of
You
it? All right,
feel
let's
me?
break it down.
Rundown, let's get it.
Let's break it down for the family. All right, so pandemic jumps off. I'm pretty sure for most of us, especially in the States, March 2020, we all know,
Mm-hmm.
and everything was turned upside down. So I'm gonna kind of speed up through it, and then we'll focus on obviously Passive Income University. But just want to give everybody, the family, the background of like how it came to be.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are, March 2020. The pandemic comes, everything's upside down, the world is locked down, and I'm working from home.
Okay.
And one day it kind of just dawns on me. I'm like, yo, like I can't just be in the house all day. Like I gotta go out, like get some fresh air, get some exercise. And so
Mm-hmm.
I go out here in San Diego. If you're familiar with San Diego, there's an area known as Seaport Village that
Mm-hmm.
leads into the convention center. And that's where a lot of people go to walk and get exercise and they hit the stairs and get the cardio and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm out there getting a workout in, and I noticed that everybody that's outside, this is April of 2020, I noticed that everybody that's outside is already in shape. They're already like top tier in shape and like
Mm-hmm.
really got their stuff together. And
Yeah.
it dawns on me that whatever a person focuses on during this time, during the pandemic, they're
Mm-hmm.
going to be leaps and bounds ahead of where they were if they just focus. And that
Yeah.
could be anything, whether it was their physically speaking, your fitness,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually speaking, education, financially speaking, whatever the case may be. And I
Mm-hmm.
know for a lot of people, it was like a mental thing as well, like just getting your mental health right because it kind of had a lot of us shook.
Yeah.
But what I landed on was the finances. I was like, yo, I'm not where I want to be with my finances, so let me start focusing on that. And what I landed upon was the stock market because that was the easiest thing. You know, with real estate, you got to save up your down payment, then you got to go through that whole approval process.
Mm-hmm.
And so where I landed on was getting into the stocks. All you got to do is download an app right on your phone, and then you're automatically in it. You already got it going. And so after I downloaded the app, Robinhood, Fidelity, put a little money in there,
Mm-hmm.
start buying some stocks, I start researching, start learning about dividend stocks. One of my closest partners, I hit him up and I was like, bro, like this is the way we need to start getting on this stock game right now. And he
Yeah.
said, it's crazy that you're hitting me up, bro, because I just joined this options community where they talk about, trading options. And what you want to do is take the profits from your options and then buy yourself your dividend income.
Okay.
And so I started to work on that, and I would put out like what I was doing on social media, on Instagram. I noticed a lot of people in the community were gravitating towards me because of my transparency. Like I was keeping it a buck, bro, about like, oh snap, I got this much credit card debt. Oh, this just happened to me. I just had to fix something on my car, or this is what's going on. Like I got credit card debt. And as more and more people started to gravitate towards me, I realized that there needs to be a real centralized community of transparency. Not just like people hiding behind the shiny stuff and, you know, waving the Lambo keys in your face, or because, you know, that brings a lot of people in, right? I'm not going to front. That brings a lot of people in.
Hell yeah.
What does it look like to start off from the beginning? And that was really the birth of Passive Income University, to show people at the very beginning stage, what does it look like? What are you going to go through trying to build passive income? You know, what are those hiccups and those headaches look like when you didn't finally figure it out? Okay, I got my student loans, I got my credit card debt, I got this, I got rent, I got all this kind of stuff, and I'm able to squeeze out $150 a paycheck or $200 a paycheck, and I can put that towards my dividend portfolio. But oh shit, you know, my car I got to fix the transmission or whatever the case may be. That real life stuff that sets you back, and that's what the community is about: encouraging each other to stay on track, but showing different ideas on how you could get back on building your passive income when a hiccup comes up. So that's the core principle of Passive Income University.
Okay.
Now, it branches out and is grown because I realized that the stock market isn't for everybody. You know, it really isn't. Some folks are like, yo, bro, it's glorified gambling. I don't really rock with it. And so in the community, what we talk about, okay, how do you get into real estate? You want a rental property? Where's the best place to do it? California is crazy expensive unless you're working already with, like, you know, anywhere from 600,000 to a couple $1 million. You're not going to be buying a rental property here in San Diego. So you're probably going to be looking somewhere like the Midwest, Memphis, Tennessee, or something like that. Yeah. And so we show in the community, okay, where you can get real estate grants, you know, where you can get things of that nature to help you get your first property and get that rolling. Not just a down payment assistance program for a loan, but where can you get $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 as a grant to get your first property, and then you house hack, you rent it out, things of that nature. So that's the birth, and that's the overall, like, kind of core principle of Passive Income University. It's just a community of us that are transparent with each other, keeping it real, so that we can encourage each other for, like, what you really should expect. Because you're not just gonna come out the gate like, all right, now I'm making 30 G's a month. But before you know it, and this is what I tell everybody, before you know it, after one solid year of consistency, bro, just like I was telling you, you consistent on your grind, like, hell yeah, one solid year of consistency, before you know it, like, oh shoot, you'll have a little passive income portfolio, and it's paying you some chips. Hell like, yeah, you know what I mean? So that's the basis for it right there. That's the basis of Passive Income University. But you know, we can dive into some certain things, and I'll kind of land my plane in terms of this part of the conversation. It's not just stocks and real estate. Of course, those are the two main things that we all hear about. But there's members of the community that they're about getting vending machines or getting started with Turo. You know, it isn't just a one size fits all. That's the thing that I love the most about the community. Different folks are interested in different things, and we're all just sharing ideas with each other. Okay, so explain for some of my slow listeners what passive income means. Like, some people are like, passive income, what the hell that even mean? Yeah, exactly. And so right off the top, you go and you work at your 9 to 5, right? You clock in, you clock out, you work on Monday through Friday, whatever the case may be. That's active income. You are trading your time for money. So if you got a 9 to 5, and by all means, let me say it straight up right now, Passive Income University does not knock having a 9 to 5. Yeah, I know in this realm that we're in now, there's, you know, a lot of people out there that are screaming through megaphones that 9 to 5s are a scam or whatever the case may be. Bro, we live in a world where you're going to need to have a job, so they're not scams. You just got to be smart with your money. So active income is you literally clocking in and out at your 9 to 5, getting your paycheck once a month or twice a month or bi-weekly. That's active income. Passive income is money that you collect from an asset like a real estate property or dividend stocks that you're going to get paid at any time, whether you're sleeping, whether you're working, whether you're on vacation. No matter what you do, you're not having to commit yourself to working to get paid. So the main
Okay.
thing that you see me talking about online or social media is dividend stocks. That's my favorite form of passive income. So
Okay.
essentially, I take a couple $100 or whenever I get extra money, and I'll buy stocks in a company like Main Street Capital. That's one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
Or Vici Properties, VICI. And
Mhm.
just a disclaimer out there: this isn't investment advice. This is educational advice. Obviously, you want to do your own due diligence, your own research before you do any investment transactions. Consult with an advisor. But for instance, one of my favorite companies is a company called Vici Properties. Now,
Okay.
Vici Properties is the biggest landowner in Las Vegas, biggest property owner in Las Vegas. They own Caesars, MGM, a whole bunch of properties out
Mm.
there. Now, those big, huge casinos that are doing billions of dollars a year, they
Yeah.
have to pay Vici Properties, their landlord. And then Vici Properties pays the share owners dividends. That's passive income. So I don't have to do anything. I'm not
Yeah.
sitting in traffic trying to go to work. I'm not dealing with microaggressions from the people at work, not dealing with little slick comments or nothing like that. I'm
Mhm.
getting paid just to own shares of this company. That's passive income. And so you could do it with stocks. You could do it with a vending machine. That's another good example, right? You
Mhm.
buy yourself a vending machine. You find a business where you can put that vending machine. And no matter what you're doing, you're at home. But wherever you put that vending machine, people are buying candy and snacks from it. And you're
Yeah.
collecting money. You're getting paid while you do whatever you go do throughout the day, whether you're back at your job or you're spending time with your family. So passive income, simply put, just to say it another way, is getting paid without having to trade your time to do so. You can do whatever you want with your time, and you're going to collect a check. You're going to collect money.
Man, that's the best income too. You feel me?
Oh, yes.
Explain to people what Turo is, because I mean I know these things, but somebody out there like might not know what these things are. So explain what Turo is. It's like another form of passive income.
Yeah, yeah, and I can hear the people now. Let's just get this out of the way because I can hear people now saying this, bruh. They'll say, "Well, that's not passive income, right? You still have to go to the vending machine, or you still got to do this or that." But you're not spending anywhere the same amount of time or effort that you will with a regular 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Obviously, whether you own a rental property or you have dividend stocks or you have a vending machine or Turo, which I'm going to explain right now, any one of these things that produces money for you, you have to allocate some time to it, a little bit of time, but it's
Exactly.
not 40 hours a week. It's not 80 hours. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
nothing crazy out. It's not nothing crazy like that.
Mhm.
So to the question at hand, Turo is a peer-to-peer car sharing platform. So instead of going to Hertz or Alamo or Dollar Car Rental or any one of the traditional rental car agencies that you see like when you go to an airport,
Yeah.
individuals can put their own personal car on Turo and then rent it out. So just think of it as the Airbnb, but for cars.
Okay.
And so if you're in a position where you have an extra car, or maybe you work 100% remotely from home and you're not driving your car most days or Monday through Friday or whenever, you can list it on Turo. And then people that are visiting your town or your city, they can rent your car out at a rate that you determine for however many days or whatever the case may be, and then you'll get paid. So that's what Turo is. It's a peer-to-peer car rental agency, and that's another way of getting passive income. Obviously, with all things, you're going to have that learning curve where you're spending time to learn about it, to get your feet wet, the best car to get, all that kind of stuff. And I think, I'm kind of trailing off here, but it's on my mind to say it. I think sometimes when people are hearing about passive income, on one end, they're creating this image of like, well, you said, I'm just getting paid to do whatever. Of course, as you build upon it, right? As you
Yeah.
compound it and you add to it. But just like anything, whether you're learning to play baseball, whether you're learning computer programming, the beginning of it is going to take your time so you learn what to do. Then
Yeah.
once you get a rhythm and a system in place, that's where the passive you kick back and you're not consistently or perpetually dedicating your time to it like our 9 to 5s, right?
Yeah.
The 9 to 5s, it don't matter like how good or sharp you get. They want you there all the time. Like, come back, give us 40 hours, and we're gonna cut you a check. It's not like that with passive income.
You was about to touch on a word that I want you to expound on the people with too. Compound.
Yes.
Explain to the people out there compound, because some people they like, what in the fuck is compound? What the hell you talk about compounding money? Like,
Bruh,
expound on that.
I'm glad you're tagging on this right now, bro. I'm really glad you're tagging on this right now because it's been on my mind lately to really illustrate and express on my social media platform the importance and the power of compounding. So I'm going to take a step back and kind of bring it all in together. So just as we were touching on, just as I was saying about the beginning of anything is that learning curve that you have to go through. It really is the hardest part. We'll talk about dividends, right? Dividend investing, it's not sexy. It's not flashy. It's not glamorous. It's none of that kind of stuff. At the very beginning, it starts off super slow. It starts off slow, right? So you're buying a dividend stock, right? You might find a company that's $50 a share and they're paying you 50 cents per share that you own every quarter, which is once every 3 months. You're going to get 50 cents for that one share. So at the very beginning, you're like, bro, this, you know what I mean? This ain't going to change my life. You know what I mean? Like, what am I about to do with 50 cents? But as you continue to add to it, as you continue to add to your position, which is buy more shares, you'll see the compounding, right? So that 50 cents, you get 2 shares. Now you're at $1, and then you got 3 shares, $1.50. So the compounding comes into place where before you know it, the amount that you're getting paid is growing so rapidly. So let's just say you get to the stage where you've got X amount of shares and you're now getting, $50 a month in dividends. Now that $50 a month is allowing you to buy whole shares, which is allowing you to get even more. It's like a snowballing effect. Yeah. But the compounding isn't just with the finances, it's with the knowledge as well. The more you get into something, the sharper you can be with your choices, right? Yeah. So whether you're learning to invest in dividends or you're learning to buy rental properties or vending machines or Turo, the knowledge compounds and the money compounds. And it's always the beginning that's hard. So I want to break it down another way too, because the best way to think about it is kind of like interest, right? This is the real way, right? If you've got any type of like heavy duty loan, we're talking about if you got major credit card debt of more than $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, or you got a student loan. A lot of us with student loans have felt this before. You got a student loan that's 20,000, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 plus, or you've got a mortgage, anything like that, even maybe a car note, depending now, because I heard the average car note now for a new car or a regular car is anywhere from $700 to $1,000.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, exactly. So what do we mean by compounding, or what do I mean, right? As my brother was asking, when you look at your statement, we'll take a credit card, for example. The interest rate, the average interest rate for a credit card is anywhere from 20 to 29%. When you make a payment, right after that, they throw in the interest. Go look at your statement and see how much the interest charge is, the dollar amount. That's compounding. Yeah. But what people don't realize is it works in the other direction. So if you're buying assets that have a certain type of interest rate return, it'll compound. So for instance, like for me, my dividend portfolio, or one of them, is at about $17,000 and it's bringing me about 4.5% interest. So each month right now, I haven't really checked the numbers, but each month right now I'm getting about, I don't know, like $40 to $60 a month, depending on what companies are paying. Yeah. So after a while, that 4.5% is going to grow. It's going to grow. Then it's going to compound as I keep buying more dividend stocks. So that $40 to $60 going in my direction, in my favor, will turn into 70 to 80. If I keep adding to it and keep letting it set, it's going to turn into 90 to 100, and then 100 to 120 a month. That's compound interest. That's compounding. And so it's always, like I said a moment ago, the hardest part is just getting to that stage where you can feel it, where it feels like it's doing something. Yeah. If you're getting like $200 to $300 a month, which isn't life changing, but it'll take care of some groceries, it'll take care of all your streaming services, all that kind of stuff. And I focus on that amount because that's an amount that I've achieved multiple times within 1 year. So if you've been following me, just to kind of like give another example on the compounding and why it's important to give yourself one solid year of consistency before you quit, before you give up. If you've been following me since I started doing passive income and you've been rocking with me on social media for a while, you know that I've started my dividend income portfolios over 2 times. And so what happened was 2020, I started, and quickly, just being intentional, not doing anything crazy, just being intentional, saying, hey, I'm not about to have these one-off expenses. I'm going to be like a little bit more on it when I'm spending my money. I just want my dough to go to building this portfolio. Quickly in 2020, I think within like 8 months, I had gotten to a $13,000 portfolio.
Nice.
But what happened was I had about $14,000 in credit card debt.
Woo.
So I sold out my whole portfolio to pay off my credit cards to bring me to zero. And then within 1 year, I was up to 20,000. Within 1 year, and this, like, I can't stress this enough. This isn't me doing anything crazy. You know, and I'll wrap it all in with the compounding. This is just 1 year of consistency, because the compounding, like I said, is not just financially, it's with the knowledge. So that 8 months before I cleared out my portfolio, I learned a lot about not only investing in dividend stocks, but I learned a lot about my own behaviors when it comes to spending. So now I know, well, I'm not going to make this same mistake again. And because I'm not making the same mistakes, I'm able to compound that knowledge, which is why that first time I did 0 to 13,000 in 8 months. And then I went 0 to 20,000 in about the same amount of time, give or take a few months, right? About the same amount of time, I went 0 to 20,000. So the compounding is just basically multiplying over and over what you're already doing. But in order to get to that stage, you got to be consistent with it for at least, with anything, I say 1 year.
Yeah.
Of 1 year, and watch how things change.
Exactly. So all these things I know what you're talking about, but I want you to like just explain it in so the layman's terms to my audience. Explain dividends and dividend stocks to the people out there.
For sure. Okay, so we got the stock market. You got all these companies that are listed on the stock market, which means they're publicly traded. And publicly traded means that you can buy ownership or shares in these companies because they're public. Like Target, Home Depot, Walmart, AMC Theaters, Amazon, trying to think of all the popular ones out there, but you get it. Coca-Cola,
Microsoft,
Apple, Microsoft, all of those companies are what's called publicly traded companies. And what that means is they're listed on an exchange, the stock market, and any person, me, you, whomever, any person around the world can buy ownership into these companies. Now, these companies that are publicly traded, listed on the stock market, some of them will pay what's known as a dividend. And you can look at it as just a reward for being an owner, for just simply having ownership in this company. And so these companies that pay dividends, that give you this reward, that's a form of passive income. Now, typically the companies that pay dividends are what they call like mature companies. They've been around for a long time. So that's why you'll see like, you know, Walmart, Target, Apple, things like that pay dividends because they're what's known as mature. They made enough money and revenue and profits to be able to sustain rewarding their shareholders, that whole thing. But a dividend stock is simply a publicly traded company that will literally pay you cash to be an owner. That's the long and short of it. You get rewarded just for holding shares. And that's why it's my favorite form of passive income, because literally you can just download an app today, buy some dividend stocks today, and start making money today.
Yeah.
You know, it is slow. Like I said at the beginning, it is slow, but it does help to encourage you. And the other thing, bro, you're just reminding me that I wanted to say to the community is even if you don't really rock with dividend stocks, I would suggest starting there as a means of building passive income, because it's going to teach you not only to be patient, it's going to teach you to be consistent, and it's going to teach you about researching and in an indirect way what it takes to build a business, because you're building your portfolio and you're learning how businesses run their companies, like how is Target ran, how is Walmart ran, how is Apple ran. And then you say, okay, well, I've been doing this dividend thing for a minute. I really, you know, it's a little too slow for me. I'd rather go get me a rental property. Well, the dope thing is you've been investing in assets that have been growing, and now you can take that money and go get you a rental property, or if you're not there yet, go get you a vending machine. And because you've been learning to research, you now have another skill set that you've developed, that you've sharpened. You now know how to, like, okay, what kind of questions should I be asking about this company I'm about to buy this vending machine from? Because you've already been doing that research for the companies you've invested in. So I just wanted to touch on that. That just popped in my head. I wanted to make sure I spoke on that.
Okay. Did you go to school for this? Like, did you go to school for finance or anything in that nature?
So yes, I did. I did go to school for finance, graduated from the University of Phoenix with a finance degree, bachelor's in finance.
Okay.
But all the things that I know now, I didn't learn from school, from getting my degree, just to keep it a buck, just to keep it real. And it isn't knocking University of Phoenix or getting a finance degree, not at all, not in the slightest. Yeah. It's just, as we all kind of, you know, you see it online with memes and all that, they don't teach you this in school. The programs aren't designed to show you how to change your financial trajectory in this very tangible aspect, right? This very direct aspect. You learn about these macro concepts, right? And overall, like, okay, this is finance and accounting, and this is how a company does this and that. You learn some broad concepts, but you don't really learn in a practical everyday sense what it means to be like, okay, I have to make these decisions with my paycheck, and this is how I buy my stocks. This is how I research a company. You don't really touch on that, at least not in the traditional finance classes that I took. So I do have a degree in finance, but I don't attribute to the knowledge that I have now to that.
Okay. Yeah, man. I mean, that's just how college is, man. I got my college degree, sociology and economics, and you see what I'm doing.
Right.
None of that shit.
We both online right now. We both online. So, you know what it is.
Yep. All right. So this will be my last question. I know you said vending machines, dividend stock portfolio, real estate, Turo. Is there maybe one or two other ways to gain passive income that you know of that you can let my people know?
Yes. And these aren't in any particular order of importance, or you're gonna boom off and just get super, like, nothing like that. They're just different things to help you think outside the box, right? Yeah. The first of which I believe is the easiest way. It's not the most lucrative way, but the easiest way in my book to get passive income is having a credit card that has cashback rewards. And the reason why I say that is you're going to spend the money anyway. Yeah. We all have necessities, right? Getting gas, getting groceries, getting things like that. So we have to swipe that card. A lot of us are going to make purchases on Amazon. That card is going to get swiped. It's just going to happen. Yeah. You might as well be getting a little bit of a kickback on the back end. Now, I have had a couple of brothers and sisters and be like, well, what's that going to do? It's only 3% cash back, but it's something. Yeah, exactly. You're getting something. So that's one way I would encourage people to think about in terms of getting passive income, which is credit card cash back. And then what I do, especially if I've been spending a little bit of money, obviously we're keeping the credit cards paid off, but I take whether I got $10 for the month or 15 or 20 bucks, I take that money and then I buy myself some dividend paying stocks on top of what I've already added over there. So this is what I was talking about earlier about the compounding of the knowledge, because as I learned, like, oh, snap, here's another way where I can add to my portfolio faster. So imagine you're doing your normal swiping of your expenses, you're getting your cash back, and then you're taking that cash back each month from your credit card and you're buying dividend stocks. So now you're getting two sources of passive income from your phone, super easy, without you having to do nothing crazy. Yeah. And if you're fortunate enough, if you're set up in a position where you can pay your rent with your credit card, if you're responsible, there's certain, depending on how big the community is, or if the landlord, if they have the technological functionality, if they set it up that way, if you're in a position right now where you're able to pay your rent on a credit card that gives you cash back and you are responsible, you're not keeping a balance on there, that's really gonna like get you racked up. You're gonna get dollars. Take that money, buy you some dividend stocks, and now every month you've got passive income and you haven't even had to change your lifestyle in the slightest. So cashback is one. Now, another one that I'll be real, that's debatable. Some people will say it's a scam. Some people will say it's not worth it. It really depends on where you're at in your life and what your long-term goals are. Is the cash value that comes with getting a whole life insurance policy. Now, I can see the people's faces right now. People are frowning and be like, bruh, whole life, that's a scam. We know about it. These insurance agents, I feel you. Trust me. To my brothers and sisters out there, I feel you. I do. And I hope you don't mind. I like to keep it transparent. So here we are back in 2018. I had a house here in San Diego, California. I was selling the house and I don't know what it was, but I just started dating my lady. And you're starting to think about different things more seriously. I'm like, you know what? The number one thing, the easiest thing that I could do is get some type of life insurance, and that'll help take care of the family. And let me make a note about that. This was my structure, my rubric, on how I did my financial journey going back to about 2018. The first thing that was on my mind, which I believe was the easiest, is getting some type of insurance, whether you get term or whole life. Get some type of life insurance. So at a minimum, your family and loved ones are covered when it's time for you to transition.
Yeah.
Now, speaking transparently and candidly about my situation, I gravitated towards getting a whole life insurance policy because I heard about this whole thing about cash value that comes with it, right? And then you can take that cash value and go invest and buy yourself a rental property or things like that. So, on
Okay.
one end, a whole life insurance policy has cash value, but let me keep it real about the drawbacks. They're much more expensive, so much to the point there it really becomes like, is it even worth it to have a whole life insurance policy versus term insurance? Because term is much cheaper. You get a large amount of coverage. We're talking, this is just off the top of the head numbers, 300, 400, 500, 600, $800,000 for like
Okay.
$10 a month, $20 a month or whatever, depending on, your age and the company that you go through. But the thing about term is it has some restrictions. It doesn't grow with cash value. After a certain age, it'll cut off. So once you reach a certain age, you're no longer covered and you can't get term anymore. So, but it's cheaper. It's cheaper and you get a lot of money. And it's not like the age is like next year or 10 years from now. It might be like age 55 or 60 or something like that, depending on the company. But
Okay.
reeling myself back in to the point at hand, as another form of passive income, if you have the disposable income, you're thinking long term. Maybe you're just starting a family right now. You're in a good space financially. You've already got somewhat of a stock portfolio. You've already got a 401k or some type of retirement set up.
Yeah.
And you may want to consider getting a whole life insurance policy that has cash value that grows with it. But I did it. And if I could turn back time, I wouldn't do it. I would only do it for the type of person that I just described, that scenario. And the reason why is, and obviously there's different variables, but I'll just keep it real, like show you. With my policy, was paying. It started off at like $220 a month, which is super expensive. Now there are some other features that come with it, like disability insurance and other things like that. That if something happens to me, it covers these specific scenarios. But speaking to the cash value part, paying $230 a month since 2018. Here we are in 2023, and the cash value is only at $7,000 cash. So passively, I have $7,000 in cash over these last years that I can dip into and use for whatever the case may be. But here's the constraint to it. And I'm not trying to knock it. I just want to offer an objective, balanced view if you wanted to go this route, right?
Yeah.
It's been this many years. It's only 7,000. In my stock portfolio that I just described, in the last year, I'm up 16,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So think about that. And then the thing about it is, it's much more of a long-term play. So my best case use scenario, using this kind of alternative style of passive income, cash value with the whole life insurance policy, would be for the type of person that I just described, who may see themselves 20 years from now, 25 years from now, wanting to take that cash value and buy an investment property, right? Or buy something else. Long term, long down the line, you might realize, hey, that's not really where I'm at right now. Me and my lady are rocking with each other. Maybe when the kids get older and we know that, okay, our kids are at a certain stage, we're advanced in our careers, that's where it may make more sense. And the last thing about the cash value is, and this is where I would say I wouldn't do it, is you really are borrowing against it. The insurance companies won't straight up just give you the cash value. So let's just say after 25 years, your cash value has grown to 50,000. And you say, hey, I'm gonna take my 50,000 and buy myself a rental property so I can get investment income. Your insurance company is going to say, hey, cool, you can take 80% of your 50,000, go buy you an investment property, but you got to pay it back to yourself. Now, you know what I'm saying? So it's things where, looking back, I would only recommend that for a very specific scenario. Other than that, I wouldn't rely on that as a means of building passive income, but it is something different. There are some people that might be cool with that. You might be in a space where, like, hey, I don't want a rental property and tenants and all that. I don't want to have to be researching stocks. I don't want somebody crashing my car on Turo. I like the idea that I can get life insurance and be able to provide for my family so something happened, and then have a little bit of cash that I might dip into later on in life. But so those are different things. The cash back on your credit card, cash value with a life insurance policy, And let me try to think of one more that will be good. Talked about the vending machines, rental properties, dividend stocks.
Yeah, Turo.
Yeah,
It's like 5 or 6 right there.
Yeah. I'll land it here. And this is something that I've been expanding my mind to and that I'm looking into is there are a couple of like financial influencers that have been talking about this kind of growing idea of buying a boring company. So this isn't necessarily passive in the sense that maybe a rental property or dividend stocks could be. You definitely are going to have to roll up your sleeves and put in some work. But buying what's known as a boring business. We're in this era now where people are trying to think of the next AI company, the next social media platform, and you don't need to do that. A boring business is a business like a laundromat or even buying a Subway, something like that. And some of these are really inexpensive in terms of what you think they may cost. There are some Subways out there that you can become a franchisee for like $10,000 or $15,000. And I'm not saying that everybody just has 15,000 lying around, but it's much more attainable than trying to find 20%, to put on a house where you need 60 or 80,000. So for those of us out there that might want something a little bit more different or a little bit challenging, if you're up to it, I would say set your mind on trying to find a boring business, a laundromat, a Subway, something like that. Find one that's in place. And here's the kicker that I think will really motivate people. We're in this era right now. A lot of people probably heard about the great wealth transfer, right?
Yeah.
A lot of baby boomers and the older generations, they are retiring. And with their retirement comes them letting go of their businesses. And there are a lot of folks out there that are older that don't want to own their laundromat anymore. They may be looking to sell it, or they don't want to own their Subway anymore. They may be looking to sell it. So keep that in your minds to the community out there that, hey, I could see myself like, you know what I mean? They already have the things in place. Just imagine they already have a manager in place for these stores, for the laundromat or the Subway or whatever the business is. They already have the team running it. They just need somebody to come in that's going to take it off their hands that you can, buy it from them. So that would be a unique way. Obviously, it's not for everybody. Running a business is not the most passive thing, but once you get the systems in place to run that boring business, then you can go back to doing your thing. And it goes back to what we talked about at the beginning, Brett. Like, the beginning of anything is going to take your time. It's going to be a learning curve. But once you get the rhythm, that's where the compounding comes in.
Exactly.
So don't let none of this deter you. If that's the message I could give to the family and the community, whether you go after dividend stocks, whether you go after rental properties, Turo, vending machines, cash value life insurance, buying a boring business, no matter what you get into at the beginning, you're going to have a learning curve. You're going to have to allocate time to it. But once you get your rhythm, the compounding kicks in. You've learned a lot. You got your knowledge up. You got your experience. And before you know, you're like, oh, yeah, I kick back. And then you're giving game to other people.
Yep.
Like, oh, it's so easy. It was done overnight. How did you do? No, it wasn't overnight. I learned and now I set myself up and it's running. So that's what I would say. So
basically, the moral of the story is even with passive income, motherfucker, you got to work.
Why? Yeah.
Yes. You're going to put in some work. Even if you look for stocks, you got to click this mouse thing. You got to be like, click.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, exactly.
Yo, man.
You're going to work at the beginning. That's what I would say. You're going to work at the beginning. There's no way around it. At the beginning, you're going to work. The key is, do you want to be working at the beginning, middle, and end? Or do you want to just put the work in at the beginning and then be able to enjoy your middle and your end?
True, Bill. That comes with anything, bro.
Yes, yes.
But we coming to a closing of the show, brother. You feel me? Let my audience know where they can find you again and the website that they can find you to attend the Passive Income University.
For sure. Okay, so the website is www.piuniversity.net. And then on Instagram, for me, it is at CurtisG24 or at PI University. That's where you can find us. You'll find everything there. And so we got a lot of free resources. Just come and join the community. Let's chop it up and let's build together.
Hell yeah. And look, the links are going to be in the description below. So I'm going to put it in the description. Y'all could just click on it. Easy peasy. You feel me? Hey, Curtis.
Yes.
Gotta give you some air horns, some hand claps, brother. Man. I
appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it.
Coming on to the show, you feel me? Blessing us with some gems or some knowledge, you feel me? Man, much appreciated, bro. And man, like I said, we met at the FBA Expo. For some of y'all be like, FBA, what that mean? It means two things. Foundational Black American, and forever beating ass at this point. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Montgomery brothers and sisters out there hitting the people with the charati. You feel me?
The charati. I love it.
Man. But I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. You feel me? All right, man. You know, for my tubers out there, YouTube been around since 2005. I don't need to tell y'all what to do to get the video or the channel booming. But just like the rest of the tubers say, I'm going to say the same thing. Like a sub a share, comment, comment a like. Y'all know what to do. Some of y'all front out there, you feel me? Hey, for my Twitch family though, hit your bro with a follow, hit your bro with a share. And Curtis, do you have a Twitch or a YouTube?
I don't. No Twitch. The YouTube is Curtis G24 as well, so y'all can find me there.
All right, I'm gonna put that in the description too. You feel me? I gotta thank my lovely sponsors though. First Place Losers. The link to the top gonna be in the description below. Y'all go check out the fire ass garments made out of 100% Egyptian cotton. I guarantee it boost your sex appeal up by let's say 78%. Actually, compound interest.
Compounded, yes, compounded, yeah.
And look, if it look good on me, it's most definitely gonna look good on y'all. Okay, this is another episode of the Seers Glare. I'm your lovely or hated host Kamal, aka the Black Seinfeld, aka Magic X. And look, man, once again, man, Curtis, bro, I appreciate you for coming on to the show. You feel me? And look, man, you're dropping some gems, bro. Dropping them gems. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, we about to be out, y'all.
All right, brother. Peace.
Error.